Okay guys, so welcome to a fun little video that I thought of the other day, and it's a video that a lot of you guys may enjoy. And no, unfortunately it's not the unboxing of this JDM SLX DC70. That's gonna come later, but I needed something to, I guess, to fill the camera space while I'm talking. Now this video is gonna be a drag clicker battle. And I say a lot of you guys may enjoy this because over the past couple of years I've noticed when I do reel reviews, a lot of you guys will ask, does it have a clicking drag? And let me remove this and explain to people what a clicking drag is. Now it's not a clicking drag star, and this is what a clicking drag star is. That's when you turn the drag star and it does have an audible click. A clicking drag is when a fish pulls hard enough to engage the drag system on your reel, like so. And some reels, when the drag is engaged and the fish is pulling line, it'll make a clicking sound. And as you can see, this METANIUM does not have a clicking drag, but it does have a clicking drag star. So that is what a clicking drag is, and they seem to be becoming a lot more popular these days as more mainstream manufacturers are adding that feature into their new reels. So today we're going to be comparing the sound and loudness, and I guess the pleasantness of the pitch or tone of 12 different baitcasters that have clicking drags, because it just so happens that I actually have in my possession right now 12 different baitcasters with clicking drags. And I'm going to probably go in alphabetical order and pretty much keep all the reels of the same manufacturer in the same bunch. And then at the end of the video, I want you guys to leave a comment as to which clicking drag sounded the best to you. And this is also going to give us a great opportunity to see if there is an actual difference in loudness, tone, pitch, etc., or we may find out that they all sound exactly the same. So let's get started. Okay, so we're going to start off with the Abu Garcias first, and it appears that pretty much all the Abu Garcias that I have that have drag clickers are JDM only. And we're going to start off with the oldest reel first, and unfortunately this reel is discontinued. I'm sure you can find it online somewhere, but this is the REVO Elite Aurora 64 Limited. And yeah, this thing has a clicking drag, and let me show you what it sounds like. Okay, so the next reel up is going to be the JDM REVO DEPS 8, which is a subscriber reel that I still have. And yeah, this is yet another Abu Garcia with a drag clicker. So let's see what it sounds like. So next up is going to be the Abu Garcia REVO Ultracast BF8, which is a saltwater bait finesse reel. And yeah, this thing is absolutely stunning. But yeah, let's see what this thing sounds like. Okay, so the last Abu Garcia in this drag clicker contest is going to be the LX992Z. And yeah, this thing is also stunning. If you haven't noticed by now that JDM Abu Garcias are really good looking. much better looking than their American counterparts. Now, I'm not sure if there are any American market Abu Garcia Revos that have a clicking drag or not. Maybe the Revo MJ Extreme, I can't remember. But yeah, let's see what this LX992Z sounds like. Okay, so we're done with Abu Garcias, and we have one Korean domestic market reel in this contest, and that is the subscriber reel sent to me, the Doyo Liger 30. Now, since Doyo makes Abu Garcia Revos, I suspect that this will sound pretty similar to the Revos, but let's find out. Okay, so the next reel is the only lose in this contest. That is the latest BB1 Pro. Now this reel came out in 2018, so it's about 3 years old, but I completely forgot that it had a clicking drag. Now since LEWS is made in the same factory as the Abu Garcias, and that is the Doyo factory, I suspect that it will sound similar, but let's find out. Okay, so next up is the only DAIWA in this contest, and that is the new 2021 ZILLION 1000. Now, there are two versions of this reel, the JDM version and the American version, and I have the JDM version, so I do not know if the American version will have a clicking drag or not, because I know there are a few differences between them. So let's find out what this DAIWA sounds like in comparison to the others. Okay, so the last brand in this contest are going to be the Shimanos, of course, and I have a total of 5 Shimanos right now that have clicking drags. So we're going to start off with the oldest one probably, and I mean the oldest in the fact that this came out I think in 2016 or 17, somewhere around there. But this is the Engetsu 100 HG, which is pretty much a saltwater version of the CURADO 70. But yeah, let's see what this reel sounds like. So next up is going to be the 2016 Shimano ALDEBARAN BFS. Now this reel, once again, came out in 2016, so it may be tied with the Engetsu for being the oldest model in the Shimano lineup, but it is made of magnesium while the Engetsu is made of aluminum, so it may have a different pitch or tone to the clicking drag, but let's find out. So next up from Shimano is another bait finesse reel, and that is the 2017 Scorpion BFS. Now this reel is made of aluminum, so it may sound a little bit different than the ALDEBARAN, but let's find out. Okay, so the next reel from Shimano is yet another bait finesse reel, and that is the 2017 CONQUEST BFS. Now, you've probably noticed that Shimano seems to like to put drag clickers in their bait finesse reels, and hopefully the other manufacturers will follow suit like DAIWA and Abu Garcia. And it looks like the new budget SLX BFS is also going to have a clicking drag. So let's see what this CONQUEST sounds like. Now it may be a little bit different because the entire reel is made of aluminum, so that may change the pitch or the tone of the clicking drag. Okay, so the last and final reel in this contest is probably the most expensive as well, and that is the 2019 Shimano Antares A, or Antares 70 in Japan. Now this reel is all metal. Now I can't remember if it's all aluminum or magnesium and aluminum, but that may change the pitch or tone of the clicking drag versus the other Shimanos. So let's find out. Okay, so hopefully you guys got a good audio representation of what all these drag clickers sound like. But of course, in person versus, over the internet on YouTube is going to be slightly different. So let's talk about these Shimanos first. Now, the loudest drag clicker by far was on the ALDEBARAN BFS. And I know this because immediately after filming all the sound, I went and just compared back to back all the sounds of all these 5 Shimanos, and the ALDEBARAN was definitely the loudest and probably the most annoying in my opinion. Now these two, the Engetsu and the Scorpion, sounded very much the same, and these two were probably the quietest, but the Antares definitely had a different tone, at least in my opinion, and hopefully that came through in the camera audio. But yeah, the ALDEBARAN BFS, probably due to the fact that frame is made of magnesium, which is a more porous metal than aluminum, definitely has the loudest drag clicker. Now I'm not sure if it's due to the magnesium or if internally they've put some kind of different material, but probably not, because I doubt Shimano would take the expense to put a different type of drag clicker material in each of their separate reels. Alright, so let's talk about these Abu Garcias next. Now, comparing them back to back, they all actually sound a little different from each other, which is kind of surprising. Now, definitely the loudest one here is going to be the REVO DEPS 8. Now, it's not as loud as the ALDEBARAN, but it is definitely a tad louder than these other reels. And once again, that's probably because this DEPS 8 is made of magnesium, while these others have aluminum frames. Now, the two that sounded the most similar was the REVO UltraCast and the DEPS 8, probably due to the fact they have the same frame, while the LX992Z probably had the quietest drag clicker out of the Abu Garcias. And then that REVO Aurora had probably the deepest tone out of all of these, or the deepest pitch. Okay, so let's talk about the two reels that stood out to me the most in this contest, and that is the DAIWA ZILLION 1000 and the LEWS BB1 Pro. Now, with the LEWS BB1 Pro, it stood out to me because this drag clicker is way quieter than the other reels. Much quieter. And far less annoying in my opinion. Now, with the ZILLION, it is very distinctive because the tone or the pitch or the sound is more metallic than the others. It's got a very metallic, tinny sound to it. And you can definitely tell the difference when this drag clicker is going off versus the ABUs and the SHIMANOs. So if you open up the drag stack and examine the clicker mechanism, I wouldn't be surprised if it had more metal than the other reels, which sounded more, I guess, plasticky. Now, the only other DAIWA that I know of that has a clicking drag is going to be that new STEEZ HLC, but there could be others out there. I'm just not aware of them. But hopefully DAIWA will be implementing drag clickers in a lot more of their future baitcasters. So of course the last reel we're going to talk about is going to be this Doyo Liger 30. Now this reel has the distinction of being the only reel in this contest that's not made of metal, and it's got a kind of a fancy carbon graphite frame and side plates. So I compared this to the Abu Garcia since they are made in the same factory, and the reel that it sounded most like in pitch and I guess loudness was the REVO D's 8, which was the loudest of the Abu Garcias. And it kind of lets you know that the denser metals definitely are going to absorb more sound than these lighter magnesium framed reels and these carbon composite reels. Okay, so since this was a drag clicker battle, we have to have a winner. Now, before I announce the winner, I just wanted to say that I was very surprised at how different each reel sounded from each other, even within the brands. I thought that they would all pretty much sound the same except for that DAIWA. I knew that one was going to be a little bit different, but I thought that all the Abus would be the same, all the SHIMANOs would be the same, but that's actually not the case. When you crank them side by side, back to back, one after the other, they all sound slightly different. But now it's time to announce a winner, and in my opinion, the reel with the best drag clicker sound is going to be the LEWS BB1 Pro. Now, why did I think the LEWS BB1 Pro won this contest? It's pretty simple. I personally don't care for clicking drags. And the reason I think the LEWS won is because it definitely has the quietest, most muted, least annoying clicking drag out of all these reels. And that is the only reason why I chose the BB1 Pro. Now, I don't mind the clicking drag, but if it's too loud, then it definitely gets too annoying. But I rarely hook into fish that have the power to pull drag, so it's really not going to affect me too much. But I want you guys to leave in the comments which reel you thought had the best sounding clicking drag. And of course, as you know, all the reel manufacturers watch all these videos of people doing reviews on their reels, and they look at the comments section to see what people are looking for. So if this reel gets enough interest, maybe more and more companies will start implementing the drag clicker. Alright guys, thanks a lot.